Hello there. Welcome back to the YouTube channel of the Legalpreneur, where I have one exclusive YouTube video per week. Typically, the rest are podcast episodes that are uploaded. But this week, I'm so excited because we were chatting about private labeling. There was just a lawsuit filed by Zara against a brand, kind of a newer brand. They've only been a thing for like less than 2 years, but it's something that I see so often with small business owners. So I knew I had to make this episode about this lawsuit and how to warn small business owners and make sure they're aware to make sure they're not doing things that can cause them to get sued. So the lawsuit was just filed on Wednesday, January 4th. It is Zara against Thilico. I don't know exactly how to say the name, but Zara just absolute destroys them in this complaint. And I don't want to go over all the details of the complaint, but I want to tell you what the claims are. And then I'm going to go over each claim and how a small business owner, how I have personally seen a small business owner potentially get themselves in trouble for this claim. And that way, okay, I need to not do that so I don't get in trouble for this claim. And if you are a small business owner, especially if you're in e-commerce, share this with your e-commerce friends, anybody in retail. That way, they're not making these same mistakes. So the specific claims are for copyright infringement, false advertising, unfair competition, false description, and false designation of origin, and then unfair and deceptive trade practices under the laws of several states. Now, first things first, copyright infringement. There are a number of ways to get in trouble and commit copyright infringement. But the most common that I've seen for small business owners, online business owners, retail companies, whatever you're doing, you name it, it is by using photos that don't belong to you. And that's exactly what this company did. They were using Zara's photos, and I will, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up here on the video. So this is directly from the complaint. Zara, you can see Zara's photos, and then you can see their photos. They literally just use the photos with an exorbitant markup. So the specific dress, Zara's satin lingerie style dress, priced on the website for $49.90. Thilico is selling it for $328. Insane markup. And if you use photos that do not belong to you, number one, you have to make sure you have a proper license to use those photos. If not, it's copyright infringement. And if somebody says, oh yeah, you can use the photos, just give me credit, and you don't give them credit, guess what? It's still copyright infringement. Now, there's a ton of other ways to get in trouble with copyright infringement. That's the number one way. And specifically in this case, that's how it's copyright infringement. If you're copying somebody's website copy, if you're taking somebody's exact word for word return policy, things like that, their Instagram captions, their product descriptions, all of that is copyright infringement. And just as a refresher, your copyrights are all of your creative work. So your videos, photos, blog posts, website copy, all the creative work, that is protected with a copyright. So copyright infringement, that's the first claim. That's the main claim. And then everything else is kind of subsidiary, supplement to that. So going to false advertising, unfair competition, false description, and false designation of origin. This all falls under the Lanham Act, which is the primary trademark laws in the US. So what Zara says that this company is doing, or what they have done, is purchase directly from Zara, cut off the labels, and then put their own labels on them, including not just the Zara label and putting their own Thilico label, but also cutting off like the care tags, things like that, and country of origin, and replacing them. And that's not okay. That is not okay. That is actually under, I believe it's the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. They govern the importing and ensuring that items are properly labeled and properly described. So that's why Zara has brought a claim for false advertising, saying who the product's by, unfair competition, false description, because they're falsely describing the items, and then false designation of origin, because I think they're changing the country, that way it's not too obvious that they're basically just taking Zara's products. Which is crazy. Can you imagine starting your own you're like, okay, we're going to start this clothing company. We're going to go buy Zara's products directly from them, and then we're just going to have this crazy markup. And you know what? We're just make it even easier on us. Let's just use their photos. And let me tell you guys, we do this for clients. We go out and find photos that are being used without a proper license. It is so easy to find photos these days online. So if you're using photos that don't belong to you, somebody's going to find you. If they haven't already, they will. So don't use photos that don't belong to you. Take your own photos or hire your own photographer. Now, let's talk about private labeling, because that's essentially what this company is doing. But typically when it's actual private labeling, it's coming directly from the manufacturer or the actual designer. And they're saying, hey, we've designed this and you can go sell it as your own brand. But in this case, they're not getting permission from the manufacturer or Zara. What they're doing is just buying it directly from Zara and then making it their own, which under the, I don't want to get go down another rabbit hole, but under the first sale doctrine, that it's allowed to buy from a company and then make it your own from there. But here it's more deceptive trade practices, because they're not leading people to believe that they're reselling. They're leading people to believe, hey, we manufactured, we created, we designed this, which they didn't. They just straight up took it from Zara and are selling it as their own at a crazy, crazy markup. And the thing is, this whole complaint, I found it really funny, because Zara just absolutely destroys this company. So Zara straight up said, or the company said, that basically on their website it says they're I think it was like ethically made, socially responsible brand. And Zara basically just says in the whole complaint, like, they're just a massive scam. So I'm very anxious to see what happens in this actual suit. And they don't look like they're a huge company. They basically, they only have like a couple hundred followers on Instagram. I don't know if, I don't even know what's going on with this company. I don't even know how many sales they've had. They've been in business since 2021. But we'll see. We will see. So if you're private labeling, make sure you're not just buying from another company and marking it up like crazy. Make sure you're actually getting permission to private label, and don't use photos that don't belong to you. I know a lot of times you'll purchase wholesale, and a lot of companies retailers, they'll use the wholesalers' photos. That's fine temporarily, but create your own brand, create your own style, your own look, and have those photos taken. That's how you're going to really make a name for yourself. Just using somebody else's photos, that it's just not unique, it's not original, it's not going to create a brand. Let me know what your questions are. Feel free to discuss in the comments. I will see you all in the next episode.